Hi everybody. Now it's my turn to go over the next two chapters of Caesar Book 1. Okay, we're going to start with part 1, section 1 of chapter 3. Okay, I've broken down this sentence into its constituent parts. The main verb of the sentence is constituerunt, right here. Okay. The thing that you have to realize about this sentence, and what makes it a little bit tricky, especially since it's on a different page from the rest, from the last section, is that the subject helvetii, the nominative plural helvetii, continues on as the subject. Okay, when you look at the sentence as it is, you don't see any nominative plural subject. Okay, so we have to understand helvetii from the last sentence. Okay. So we have these two perfect passive participles here, adducti and promoti. Now they are in agreement with that implied nominative plural masculine subject, helvetii. Okay? So adducti, influenced, and then his rebus is ablative of cause, influenced by these matters, and won over promoti, by the influence, the kind of persuasive dependability. Auctoritas does not mean authority. It's not a legal, political authority. It's a kind of the ability to influence people, to get them what you want to do. So I'm going to translate auctoritas as influence. Okay. Again, won over by the influence of orgeterix, they decide, constituerunt. Okay. Now, they decide to do four things. Okay. And the four things they decide to do are going to be in infinitive phrases. Okay, so they decided to do number one, comparare, put together, get. Those things, ea, neuter accusative plural, and this ea is going to be your antecedent of this quae. Those things which are relevant to setting out. Okay, pertinerent here, as you can tell, is an imperfect subjunctive. Okay. This relative clause is a relative clause of characteristic. The sorts of things that are relevant or pertinent, for the purpose of setting out. Okay? Here, proficiscendum is a gerund of the verb proficiscor, meaning to set out. Okay? So, first thing to decide to do is number one, to gather, to get together those things which are relevant, which would pertain to setting out. Okay? Number two, coemera, to buy. Okay, to buy what? A number. What kind of number? Quam maximum, the largest possible number. Okay, and then we have these partitive genitives, eumentorum and carorum. Okay, of draft animals and wagons. Okay, number two. So number two, the second thing they decided to do is to buy the largest possible number of draft animals and wagons. Okay. Number three, facere, to make sowings. Okay. Sowing is when you plant the field. Okay. And these are also going to be quam maximas sementes. Okay. To make the largest possible sowings. Okay. Maybe you wouldn't otherwise do this. You might save some seed, for instance, if in case there's a famine or something like that. But here, this time, they're all in. Okay. Why do they do this? Now we have a purpose clause. In order that, okay, we have a purpose clause. Copia, this is your nominative. A supply of grain, supeteret, might be on hand on the journey. Oh, and this should have been in itinera, two words. Okay. Here we have a purpose clause. Okay. Finally, thing number four, okay, confirmare, to establish, okay, to strengthen two things. Confirmare has two direct objects, pacem, okay, peace, and friendship, with whom? Cum proximis civitatibus, with the closest nations, or with the closest communities. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a few follow-up questions. I'll see you on the next slide.